Yeah, thanks for joining us here at Salty Ginger Talk. Return listeners, great to have you back. If you're new to the channel, really glad you joined us. Hope you like what you hear. So, our episode today is about shaking it off. We used to hear that a lot when we were growing up, and it's a great way to handle adversity. And we're going to talk about it today and why it's important for you to do it too, so that you can build the life that you want. So, shake it off, toughen up, tape an aspirin to it, rub some dirt on it. Those are all things that we heard growing up when you got whatever. If you were playing sports and you got hit with a pitch, hey, shake it off, walk it off, toughen up. That was pretty common back in the day. And it's great advice. It's a great way to handle the problems you have in life. That doesn't mean you ignore them, but it means you don't get stuck on them. You don't let them impact you going forward. And I think there's too much of that today in our society. We dwell and ruminate and bitch and moan about the same shit over and over and over again instead of learning from it and moving forward and applying those learnings to build the life that we want. And that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to give you 5 reasons you need to do it. We're going to give you empirical evidence to prove that you need to do it. We're going to show you what that negative behavior looks like. We're going to give you a different behavior to replace it with. And like we always do here on Salty Ginger Talk, we're going to give you an actionable item for each tip that you can start doing right now, today, to start incorporating this activity and this approach into your life. So that's the episode today. Shake it off. Remember that. Shake it off. Negative thoughts, past events will hold you hostage if you let them. And that's a choice. You're choosing to let them. You may not have had control over what happened to you. You may not have had control over the negative thing. Totally got it. Totally acknowledge it. Totally acknowledge that something shitty happened to you. So what? Shake it off. Resilient people don't ignore negativity. They acknowledge it, they shake it off, and they keep moving forward. And that's what we're encouraging you to do today. So the number one reason or point we have here is that negative thoughts actually rewire your brain for more negativity. You're setting yourself up for additional kicks in the teeth if you sit around and think about and worry about and complain about the things that have gone wrong in your life, whether you were responsible for them or not. So there was research, neuroplasticity research in the Journal of Cognitive Neuroscience that was published in 2010 that shows that repeated negative thinking strengthens neural pathways for pessimism, making it a default response. So the more you sit and think about negative stuff and bitch about it, the more you wire your brain to sit and think about negative stuff and bitch about it. It's a choice. Quit choosing to do it. What does it look like in real life? Replaying that mistake you made at work all week, convincing yourself that you're incompetent, convincing yourself that everyone's laughing at you, convincing yourself it's some fatal error that you can't come back from. Instead, a good way to approach that is to acknowledge the mistake that you made, extract one lesson from it that you can use going forward to avoid similar situations happening in the future, and focus on the next opportunity. Keep moving forward. Learn the lesson, move down the road. So your action step here is every time a negative thought loops into your head, stop and say, what's the lesson that I can learn from this? What's the lesson here? Write it down and then move forward. Literally put it out of your mind. And don't tell me you can't, because you can. You're choosing to ruminate on these negative things. It's not productive. It's not helpful. It sets you up for more negativity, and you got to stop doing it. Plain and simple. The way to do it, acknowledge it. Find the lesson. Write the lesson down, move forward, period. Okay, number 2, dwelling on negativity increases stress and physical damage in your body. Chronic rumination, so ruminate, like we talk about horses and cows being ruminates because they chew their same food over and over again. Cows have 4 stomachs, so they'll swallow stuff, bring it back up, chew it again. It's called rumination. You do it with negative thoughts. Quit doing it, because chronic rumination raises cortisol levels. That is linked to heart disease, to sleep disorders, and to depression, according to the American Psychological Association in a study published in 2015. Do you want heart disease and sleep disorders and depression? Then stop fucking ruminating on little things that happened. Stop fucking ruminating on big things that happened. Shitty stuff is going to happen in your life. I'm sorry, that's the truth. You got to shake it off. You got to learn to deal with it. And you got to move forward. It's that simple. So what does ruminating look like in real life? Rehashing an argument long after it's over. Staying tense and irritable, allowing it to impact you for the rest of that day, for days at a time, ruin your entire week. That's ruminating, replaying the same shitty thing over and over again. Instead, what can I do? Take a walk. Use breathing techniques to calm down and regain control of your central nervous system. Return with perspective. You have choices. You are choosing to stay stuck in that thought process. Stop making that choice. So, one thing you can do here, your action item here, is when you feel yourself in that negative spiral where you keep going back over and over and over again and you can't seem to move past whatever it is you're ruminating on, use the 5-4-3-2-1 grounding technique that we've talked about on this channel before that incorporates all of your senses. And it's easiest to use sight for number 5. Think of 5 things you see: light, outlet, television, couch, pillow, right? Those are 5 things. Then think of 4 things that you can hear, whatever they are. 3 things that you can touch, 2 things that you can taste, and 1 thing you can smell, whatever. It doesn't matter which sense you use for which number, but the point of it is it gets your mind focused on something other than this negative bullshit that you've been focusing on and you won't put out of your head. Use the 5-4-3-2-1 technique to simply rewire and remove your mind from that negative loop. That's the whole point of the exercise, is to get your mind off of the negative thought and onto a different thought. 5-4-3-2-1. Anyone, even I can remember that. Anyone can remember that. So use that. Number 3, negativity shrinks your problem solving ability. Do you want to be a shitty problem solver? Do you want to be less good at solving problems? Be a negative person. Ruminate over things that have happened that you don't have control over anymore. A 2008 study in the Journal of Neuroscience showed that negative emotional states impair the prefrontal cortex. That limits creativity, and that is where your decision making happens. So, like, if you get stuck in negative thoughts, it's going to limit your ability to see options, to see solutions, to see actions that you can take to change your outcome. Is that where you want to be? I don't think it is. I know it's not where I want to be. So stop being negative, because you're actually damaging your ability to be a problem solver, and that's not good. So a negative behavior here would be facing a financial setback and focusing only on blame and fear. Okay, shit happened, whatever. Your washing machine broke, your car broke down, you have unpaid taxes that you just found out about. Whatever it is, it's happened. Now you got to deal with it. So instead of ruminating on it, shift to a solution-based mindset by brainstorming options and taking a step forward. What can I do to come up with this money? Maybe I could eat out less and use that money to pay for the bill. Maybe I could start a side hustle. Maybe I could go collect cans. Maybe I could go do a car wash. There's lots of ways to make money. Maybe I could become an Uber driver and use that money to pay for my washing machine that broke. There's solutions out there. Instead of focusing on the problem, focus on the solutions. That will put your brain into a different mindset, a problem-solving mindset, a productivity mindset. It'll get you out of that negativity loop. So the next time a problem hits you, ask, what's one small action I can, I can take right now to impact this, and then do it. You don't have to lift your house up and turn it 90 degrees and paint it green. We're not saying it has to be huge. Something. Can you make a call to understand it better? Maybe it's a credit card debt. You can make a call and say, hey, I can't pay you now, but I can pay you over time. I can start making payments next month. At least you've got a plan in place. At least you're trying to do something that will make it seem less daunting, make it seem less negative, and make it something that you can deal with. The key here is to do it. You have to take action. Action solves anxiety. Action solves depression. Action solves the problems that you're having. It might not be all at once. It might not feel all better all at once, but it'll make you feel a little bit better a little bit at a time if you keep taking action. And that's the key to this whole thing. So remember, when a problem hits, what's one thing I can do right now to deal with this? And do it. Start doing it. It'll make you feel better about the problem. It'll start moving you down the road to a better place. Number 4, negativity destroys relationships and pushes people away. Research in the Journal of Social and Personal Relationships, published in 2012, found that constant negativity erodes trust and closeness, leading to social isolation. Is that where you want to be? Do you want to be hanging out in your basement by yourself because you're Debbie Downer and no one wants to be around you because all you do is bitch and moan about problems? Fuck no, nobody wants to be that person. So don't be that person. Like, it's that simple. You can make the choice not to be that person. What does it look like in real life when you are that person? Always bringing conversations back to your complaints or your grievances or your problems. Stop doing it. Nobody wants to be around that person. They suck energy out of people, and nobody wants to be around someone that makes them feel shitty. Instead, you can acknowledge your challenges honestly, but you want to focus on the growth and the solutions that those problems bring. And some of those problems are big. Some of those problems really suck. We're not saying that at all. What we're saying is they have happened. You can't unring the bell. You can't put the toothpaste back in the tube. So it's up to you to move forward with the current circumstances that you're facing. Period. That's how life works. So your action step here is in your next conversation. Make sure you share one positive step that you're taking instead of only focusing on the problem. That's something we coach in our business is don't come to me with a problem without a solution. Even if you say, I don't think it's a good solution, but here's the only thing I can think of. At least I know you've thought about it. At least I know you're trying to solve the problem. But coming in and throwing up your problems on my desk and making them my problems is not acceptable. We just don't accept it. I don't do it to people either. It's not good enough for me to say, hey, here's the problem. I don't know how to solve it. I can say, here's the problem. I've come up with a bunch of solutions that I think suck, but let me run the solutions by you and maybe you can improve on them or you have a better solution. But don't just be Debbie Downer and throw up your problems on people all the time. No one wants to be around that shit. It's not fun. Don't be that person. And watch your life improve immediately when you take that approach. Okay, number 5. And this one's a little bit more positive than the stuff we've been talking about. Focusing on the future creates resilience and purpose. It gives you something to look forward to. It's something you have control over. It's something you can work towards. It's a positive thing that's somewhere in the future, and that is way better than dealing on the negative shit that's already happened that you can't impact. So, Viktor Frankl, who we've talked about on this channel before because he's an outstanding human being, concentration camp survivor, went on to become a psychologist, wrote, taught, published, had a great life despite facing some of the most horrific things anyone's ever faced. In his book, Man's Search for Meaning and multiple resilience studies show that purpose-focused thinking increases perseverance under adversity. So find a reason to look forward. Find a reason to work towards. Find a purpose to work towards, and you'll feel better even if your circumstances are really shitty. Even if you're in a concentration camp watching the people around you be killed by Nazis. Like that's what Viktor Frankl's situation was. If he can do it in that situation, I'm not going to listen to excuses about your situation. I got it. Whatever you got going on sucks. And it's real. I'm not saying it's not. I'm not saying it doesn't suck. I'm saying you allowing it to control your life is bullshit and it's on you to fix it. So what does that negative behavior look like in real life? Someone that believes their past defines them and they can't change. That's bullshit. That's a choice. You're choosing to let something defeat you. You're choosing to quit and give up. And that's just not acceptable. It's not an acceptable way to live your life. Instead, you can say, my past shaped me, but my future is mine to build. I can't change what's happened in the past. It's done. I can't fix it. I can make changes going forward to make sure those things don't happen again. But that's a much better and much more positive way to approach your life. And that's where you want to be. Get rid of the negative, shake it off, and move forward. Start each day by writing one sentence that answers, what am I building for my future today? What am I doing today to make myself better? It's called I call it the compound interest of life. So everyone understands the compound interest of money, where if you take the money that you make on your money and you reinvest it in those investments, it starts to grow too. And then it compounds on itself. And that's why you see that kind of hockey stick shaped curve where for a long period of time, things move slowly and then it builds momentum because that compounding starts to take over and you start seeing all this money. That's how people are millionaires, just from throwing money into a 401k low cost mutual fund for 30 years and wind up with $1 million. It's compound interest. It works the same way in life. If you habitually do good things, you will habitually build a good life. May not happen quick. You might not even see it. It might be invisible to you, but it will happen. If you eat healthy 85% of the time, you'll be healthy. You'll be at a healthy weight. You'll have low blood pressure. You won't have the same health problems that a lot of people have who don't make those choices. If you exercise regularly, your cardiovascular system will be in better shape. Your respiratory system will be in better shape. Your muscular system will all be in better shape if you just make those choices on a routine basis. What am I building for my future today? Get a little bit better every day. It'll get you where you want to be. So those are our 5 points today, guys. Shake it off. That's the message. You got to toughen up. You got to push forward. Life's tough. Hate to break it to you. You shouldn't avoid things because they're hard. You shouldn't avoid things because they're going to cause discomfort. You should challenge yourself to push through those things. Negativity doesn't disappear on its own. If you feed it, it grows. If you allow it to stay, it will stay. If you starve it by taking action, if you get rid of it by learning the lesson and moving forward so those situations don't happen again, and you have a forward focus, you kill negativity. It goes away. It takes a little bit of time for that to happen, but if you do it consistently, it happens pretty quick. So that's the message today. Shake it off. Learn the lessons. Get back to building the life that you want. It's really straightforward. Make the choice to do it today. Your life will start to improve immediately, and you'll feel so much better. We're hoping that you'll take our words to heart and start taking action. All right. James puts it up over here every day. Head over to our website, saltygingertalk.com. All the podcast episodes are there. Links to all the social media accounts are there. We've got a newsletter we publish every weekday. You can subscribe to there. Make sure you like, share, comment, subscribe to our podcast, whatever channel you consume it on. We do episodes like this that give you actionable items to make your life better. We do interviews with awesome guests who talk about what they've learned from the tough stuff in their life and how they've used those lessons to build great lives. And they share all those lessons with you during our interviews with them. Those have tons of value to them. You don't want to miss the next episode. All sorts of good stuff in there to help you build the life you want. Make sure you check it out. We'll see you there.